I am a parent of 3 daughters. My oldest is 19. She's a sophomore at University of Nevada, Reno. 2018 was the first time she had an opportunity to vote. And because she is my child, she voted both in the primary and in the general.
Of course
you're going to do you're going to do municipal elections, you're going to do everything. So she understands the importance of voting. There are so many folks who are disenchanted with voting, and also knowing that our voting rights have been chiseled away by the Supreme Court, and then the things that folks saw in Georgia in this last election. People are really, really frustrated, and so just wanted to get your thoughts.
First of all, the election in Georgia, I think, was stolen. I think Stacey, I don't know Stacey well, I know her, but I think she won. I think the Secretary of State who carried out the elections, running against her, was running the state's elections and did everything they could. I mean, I was Ohio Secretary of State many years ago, and what Republicans back then, they didn't want to expand voter registration as much as I did, but they weren't hostile to it. Some places in the South they still were, in some places, but they didn't suppress the vote so much. They didn't stand outside of polling places very often and try to dissuade people of color to vote, as they've had here. They didn't do these purges. They didn't do the change of laws. In fact, when I was Secretary of State, one thing we did, and I asked a lot of the state's businesses, what can we do to register more voters? And McDonald's Corporation printed up 1 million tray liners, the little piece of paper you put as a placemat on your tray. They were voter registration forms. We registered tens of thousands of voters. You could go to the Board of Elections in Akron, Ohio, and you would have seen voter registration forms with ketchup stains, but they were still voter registrations. And I tell you that partly because it was kind of fun and it worked, and it meant the business community was involved too. But I tell you that too because Republicans weren't so hostile to voting rights as they are now. I mean, we know what happened in the South for years to people of color, and we know that's always happened to society some, but we have now a whole political party that's trying to suppress the vote. And that's why we organize, that's why we fight, that's why we need a better court system. But it all starts with voting rights, and it all starts with people like your daughter registering right away and voting and never missing a chance to vote and talking to her friends. And I've met so many activists in this state that really are ready to do that. And you have one of the most, I mean, the Nevada Democratic Party is the only party in this country, I think, that does voter registration year-round. You're always knocking on doors doing that. And I wish we had more of it. But thank you for raising that.